subjugating. You think that God approves of that? Those are his children, equally beloved children. But I'm going to give Biden a chance. Maybe he'll be repentant. Maybe he'll say, you know what? If anybody, any of these reporters has the huevos to ask him, uh, hey, that bailout of '08, you know 90% of American people oppose that. But you voted for it, Biden. I'm supposing he did because, of course, he was with Obama, and Obama was very instrumental in that bailout. So if they just set Biden down and say, how do you feel about it now in retrospect? If he's repentant, he says, it was traitorous. I was wrong. All is forgiven. I'll embrace, I'd give him a big bear hug. Okay. And he says, I'm going to be like JFK. I'm going to do something about the Federal Reserve. And he started getting hardcore on homelessness. And he said, listen to guys like me. So get this message to Biden. I'm trying to influence influencers. That's what I'm into. So if somebody is listening or knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, get the message. I'm trying to help here. I'm trying to be a good brother. I'm trying to be a friend to not only my fellow Americans, but fellow human beings all over the world. We're equal. Egalitarianism, man. That's it. That's God. That's of God. That's of your Bible. Okay. So let's fix our problems. That's all I want to do. I want to get along with each other. I want an end to the homelessness. These are better men and women than me. How do I know they're not? That are suffering needlessly and dying out on the streets sometimes. It makes me crazy, my friends. It's killing me. Do you want something to kill me like that? It's killing me. I can't take it. And yet TMZ keeps vaunting the rich and famous. And whoa, they think it's so cute and funny. And it's like, but we're the worldly wise ones. We're smart. We're the in crowd here. We're popular. Well, Barabbas was popular too. Who was Barabbas? So you read your Bible, you'll know. Pontius Pilate, look into it. So the Rolling Stones in their song with what's that song? Sympathy for the Devil. I was there when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt. And hey, Barabbas was involved in a rebellion. He was a murderer, basically, and he was and the crowd, the mob, had a choice of saying, we want Jesus to be released because Jesus had been brought before Pontius Pilate, the governor of Rome, I guess, and Pontius didn't want to crucify Jesus. He didn't see any basis. He thought it was stupid. Their argument was stupid, baseless. So he wanted to release him. But he listened to the mob, the popular mob, and the right, majority, democracy. So Democrats think just because you're a Democrat that you're for democracy. But it's just not true. They've been colluding. The Republicans and Democrats at the highest levels, highest echelons of power in our government have been colluding, like the bailout of '08. That's wrong, my friend. That's immoral. It's unethical. It's ungodly. That's what they've done, Republicans and Democrats, not all of them. Think about Trump. I mean, he's not part of that priest class. Biden clearly is, that New World Order bunch. I mean, but I think they're both brain damaged. I think it's obvious. And I also think they're both on some kind of drugs. We know Trump got some good stuff when he had COVID, right? I forgot the name of some steroidal thing that was supposed to amp him up. But he's been looking pretty good. I hope he got off the not the high fructose corn syrup, but that other that's worse, the aspartame, that from that diet soda purportedly he'd been drinking a lot of. Brain damage. Don't listen to me. Listen to Dr. Russell Blaylock, okay, the renowned neurosurgeon, brain surgeon. What he says, it creates wood alcohol in your system, your blood, your body. Damages your brain, can cause you to go deaf, can cause you to go blind, can kill you. Okay? You don't want to mess with that stuff. I mean, the high fructose corn syrup is poison too, got mercury in it and crap, man. Look into it. I almost killed myself drinking that crap. Stay away from it, man. Stay away from it. Poison you, make you miserable. That's what I think happened to Trump. Otherwise, he'd know better than to kiss butt to the media. Why not? That can only help him. win friends in the media. I mean, when issues like Black Lives Matter came up, he should have said, "Oh, hell yes, I support Black Lives. You better believe I do." Yeah, you better believe. Black Lives Matter every bit as much as anybody else's lives. You got that? He could have done that, couldn't he? I mean, maybe I should be a political advisor, for God's sake. I mean, either that or, like I say, I think he's brain damaged from the damned aspartame. And it pisses me off. And how about his campaign managers, those giving him advice? Why aren't they telling him? Why didn't you bring up that bailout of '08 that was so unpopular with the American people and point out Biden's involvement in that? And Obama, see, I mean, if he wasn't brain damaged, wouldn't he have brought those things up at the debate? But maybe my daughter was right when she argued that, well, don't you think Trump would have voted for that thing too? So she could be right. I mean, Trump hasn't ended homelessness, but he got this COVID thing. I got a good friend of mine that told me he thinks it was a setup to get Trump out of office. This COVID thing was a plandemic, like Catherine Austin Fitts says. Read what she has to say about it. Calls it a plandemic. Great term. Probably. What do you think? We're allowing them to spray our skies, modify the weather. They call it geoengineering. Under our noses, the mainstream media just radio silent about this. But the information's widely available online. They can't hide it. So, I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's a fact that's been going on for decades. So what makes you think they couldn't spray a biological wherever they want? They could concentrate it, make Americans look like dumbbells. Hey, we're an international nation. Why don't we get like Sweden? Sweden's really, they got, from what I understand, they got no protect. They're not social distancing. They're not forced to wear masks. None of this stuff, and they've got the lowest rate around. Explain. You see, no, we're not going to talk. Not a whisper, not a word. We're going to ignore that fact. But why don't we stop letting everybody in that's coming here from other countries? We need the carriers. We need I'm escaping. They got better health care in America. We got to get to America. We're sick. You're coming in. God knows how many people. Come on, this thing, one germ, for God's sake. Okay, if you haven't had COVID-19, you're gonna. It's stupid to think a stupid mask and gloves are going to keep you from getting exposed to one freaking germ. No, take precautions. What have I been telling people ever since I heard about this back in, March? I take cod liver oil. I had pneumonia as a child. I almost died. I think I was in a coma. My dad says I wasn't, but maybe he's just trying to comfort me. He doesn't want me to think it was worse than it was. But in my left lung, I was living in Ireland at the time, 10 years old. It gets hella cold in Ireland and wet and all that crap. But I contracted this bronchial condition, this pneumonia that does kill people. It can kill children too. But I was in the hospital for a while, and my dad put me on cod liver oil. I remember he started making me take like B complex too, and but I think he probably saved my life, because doctors sometimes they don't know what to do. If they're not trained to tell people to take nutritional supplements that your body obviously can use, it's like a machine, so it's not hard to understand the basic machinations of your body. So, vitamins are a real thing, and it's got the vitamin A and D. And don't confuse it with fish oil. I'm not talking about fish oil. I'm talking specifically about cod liver oil. It's cheap. Walmart sells it for less than $3 a bottle. You don't have to take a lot. I'm not religious about taking supplements. You could take 5 and forget them for a week or 2 or 3. Talk to your doctor. Since I'm not a licensed doctor, nobody's supposed to give advice on this stuff. And you got to consult your physician about stuff. You got to know what you're doing. At least research it for yourself. Get corroborating information. But you can OD on vitamin A. So, you don't want to do too much of anything is too much, basically, of a good thing. But there's ways you can mitigate your odds, minimize your odds of getting this thing. And then even if you do get it, that you can get over it. I mean, they're coming out this information about chili peppers. This is not news. This, cancer fighting, You live longer. Pain killing. It's good for you. And other things too. I forgot what the latest claim for the chili pepper is. I used to tell cayenne pepper. You got cancer, man. It's not too late. Take it. They're talking prevention, but I'm talking cure. How about oil of oregano? Very powerful. Learn about this stuff and caution. If you get this stuff in its concentrated form, it will burn you. If you get it on sensitive skin, you get it near your eyes, you'll be sorry. I promise. I promise. It's powerful. So we're talking about taking this internally